This video will show you how to use Desmos for graphing, change the scale, change your label, put in horizontal and vertical equations, as well as find intersections. So let's start by just doing an equation. Let's say y equals -3/2 x plus 30. Now, one of the things you can see from the graph is it's hard to tell. We can use our two fingers and move stuff over so we can see. We can also just click the little wrench icon here. Projector mode might make it a little easier to see. You can take off your minor grids. We can label our x-axis. For example, if I just want to call it x-axis, I can do that there. Same thing with the y-axis. Or I could call it miles or hours or whatever. You can change your x scale, your step. Let's maybe count by 2s on that. The y scale, I need to count, let's say, by going down 3. So maybe let's count by 3s. We can also make these numbers a little nicer if we want. So for example, I could do -2.5. I could do 24. Maybe I should do 22. That looks a little nicer. Or say 21. And same thing on the other one if you want. So here I have a equation. If you hit the little gear icon above the equation thing, you can copy this, and if you copy this, you can hit the little table icon, and then this will plot in points, and I can do any points I'd like. Notice if I want to do, for example, 12, it gets me 12. I see 16 might be a nice good one where it crosses nicely. Some of these are not as nice. For example, as you see with the 5 gives me 22.5. That's not very obvious. So you can tell some of your points pretty easily from where it would cross. Looks like maybe at 20 goes through the x-axis, so that's helpful. You can also delete ones. For example, if I want to delete -1, I can get rid of that. So those are some ways to plot points on there as well. And of course, you can also just plot a point if you want. For example, it looks to me like 10 is at 10, comma 15. And that does look like it goes through. It'd be better to just do it there. And see that it does. Okay. The other things that's really nice about the Desmos is you can actually type in horizontal equations really easily. And if you want to change the color of this, just hang on to that left side where that is. You can change the color. You can also change the style. Okay, it's being a little meaner here. I'm going to try moving it. Wow, that's not going to be any fun at all here. So this is how you can change your different ones there. Solid, you can do dashed, you can do kind of points. So just some options there. I think I'd like to make my horizontal orange. We can also do a vertical equation. And maybe I want to make this one purple. And so you can do those. Like I said, then I can type in any point I want off of a table to see what that answer is. One of the things to note here is if I want to find, for example, where does this graph cross at the 21, I can't type in the y part to type in 21 and get an x value. But what I can do on the graph is where the y equals 21 and the negative 3 over 2x plus 30 graph, the red and orange intersect, I can actually just tap where those cross, and that actually gives me my answer. So at 6 on y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 30 should give me 21. So if I told you that 21 equaled negative 3 over 2x plus 30, and I said, well, what's x? You could just find where that intersects by typing in y equals 21 and find the intersection of that. So that's another option to do, to find the intersection of 2 points or 2 lines. One thing to also note though, if you take this off, it won't do that if you take off the equation. It doesn't work off of the table, it only works off of an actual line. So just be aware of that note as well. So that's how you can change things around, change colors. You can do vertical lines, you can do horizontal lines. You can make tables. The tables will only let you put in x values, not y values. But if you want to find a y value, for example, let's say I want to find, instead of 21, let's say I want to find 7. That's not very obvious. I'm going to take off this other one. So if you take off the left side color, it'll get rid of that. I can find where the red and orange intersect at, looks like 15 and a third. So those are some ways to find answers on the Desmos.